Hey Marijuana Nation, before we get into the news, just a quick note about a cool thing we're trying out here at MJ Today Media. A while back, we played around with running a Slack channel for superfans of the podcasts that we make, and for a bit had a pretty fun little community going. We're spooling that project back up, but this time we're doing it on a platform called Discord, which is a site for organizing communities of people. You can chat with fellow fans, and we'll be hosting a weekly series of audio talks featuring our hosts, guests, and special friends. Discord is super cool because it offers great support for audio and video streaming, so there's a lot that we can do with it. We're just getting this thing up and running, which you are invited to join over at discord.gg/MJ Today. That's discord.gg/MJ Today. Pop on over and join in. This episode of Marijuana Today Daily is brought to you by our friends over at Curaleaf, one of the nation's leading providers of adult use and medical marijuana products, with 93 local dispensaries, 22 cultivation sites, and 30 processing facilities, all serving up more than 350,000 registered patients and customers in 23 operating states. Learn more about all the good work done by everyone over at Curaleaf at their website, curaleaf.com, with Curaleaf spelled C-U-R-A-L-E-A-F. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Tuesday, December 1st, 2020, and you're tuned in to episode 1001 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. Kyle Yeager over Marijuana Moment grabs today's top news with a big headline out of Washington, D.C., where last week word broke that lawmakers in the House of Representatives would be, this week, casting a vote on a bill to legalize marijuana at the federal level. The House Rules Committee is meeting tomorrow and will take up consideration of the Marijuana Opportunity Reinvestment and Expungement Act, or the MORE Act, which would remove cannabis as a scheduled drug while also rolling out a raft of social justice provisions. Kyle's story centers on a number of changes that were made recently to the MORE Act ahead of its committee vote tomorrow. This is a big story as federal legalization is a nut our industry has long been trying to crack, though it's good to remember that any legislation that is passed in the House is dead on arrival in the Senate because of Republicans. At the same time, though, there is the still open chance of Democrats taking control of the Senate, with some wins in Georgia's special runoff Senate races next month. So either way you have it, this is an important storyline to track. Pop over to Kyle's piece for more here and stay tuned in general. As we always do, we have all the news we cover linked to on our website at mjtodaydaily.com. Swinging out to Arizona, we have good news following the recent certification of that state's election results by Governor Doug Ducey. One of the major ballot measures that was passed in last month's elections in Arizona legalizes adult use cannabis. And as it was written, the legislation went into effect as soon as the overall election results were certified. So today, it's legal to have adult use marijuana. Of course, it's not really legal yet to buy adult use cannabis in Arizona, as medical shops won't be up and running with their adult use products until early next year. But even so, as of today, the cops cannot arrest you in Arizona if you have up to an ounce of marijuana on you. Super news all around there. We end today's top stories with a bit of a lower note, with Marijuana Business Daily covering the very large $136 million Canadian, or $105 million US, that was lost in fiscal 2020 by Canadian licensed producer Organigram, which had to write down a huge lot of unsold inventory, a problem that is shared by many other fellow Canadian licensed producers. That $136 million Canadian loss compares to the previous year's loss of just under $10 million Canadian. The company reported a quarterly loss of $39 million, with net revenues of $20 million, up 13% sequentially. This is an important story in the day because of the broader implications of the overall supply glut up in Canada, so not a bad one to stay on top of. Those are the top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz out in headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, Curaleaf, one of the nation's leading providers of adult use and medical marijuana products, with 93 local dispensaries, 22 cultivation sites, and 30 processing facilities, all serving up more than 350,000 registered patients and customers in 23 operating states. Curaleaf is proud of its East Coast roots, having started up not too many years ago as just a few stores located in Massachusetts, and is now happy to be spread out all over the country, with coast-to-coast coverage in addition to an umbrella of some amazing legal marijuana companies, including Curaleaf Hemp, Select, and Grassroots, all of which you can learn more about via curaleaf.com, with Curaleaf spelled Curaleaf. And while you're poking around there, make sure to also check out the Veterans Cannabis Project, which Curaleaf is a longtime supporter of. You can find that very cool website over at vetscp.org or vetscp.org. Big thanks to everyone at Curaleaf for all the good things they do and for helping us keep the news train chugging along. All right, time for the Blitz. We return to Canada for another story of cannabis companies overreaching, with marijuana giant Aurora Cannabis closing down one of its larger cultivation facilities, reportedly on a quote-unquote indefinite basis. Aurora just announced the shuttering of its Sun greenhouse, located in Medicine Hat, Alberta. The facility was initially planned to have 1.6 million square feet of space, with an estimated output capacity of more than 500,000 pounds of cannabis per year, of which only a small portion was actually built out, with no cannabis being grown on site. In all, the greenhouse project cost Aurora more than $250 million Canadian. The retreat by Aurora tracks the overall industry pullback up in Canada on production, as excess inventory continues to pile up in the face of weaker demand than anticipated. Kyle's back with another story on the day, this time leading off a series of 3 happier headlines showing the real-world consequences of last month's successful Election Day run by cannabis and drug issues. First up is Oregon, where prosecutors in Clackamas County announced that they would be dropping all the minor drug possession cases they had on their docket after voters in Oregon passed a ballot measure to decriminalize the possession of small amounts of all drugs. The decriminalization law does not actually go into effect until February, but the DA's office said that to prosecute people now for crimes that will be legal in a few months runs counter to the will of the people. Super great to hear. Hopefully this catches on with more Oregon counties. Bouncing back to Arizona, we have prosecutors in that state joining in on the not busting people for drugs game, but this time with cannabis, due to the fact that adult use marijuana is now officially legal as of today, as we talked about earlier. The Associated Press reached out to all 15 of Arizona's county prosecutors and was told by 13 of them that people with pending charges for marijuana possession would be let off the criminal justice hook. The 2 counties that did not report back are thankfully smaller, containing just a percentage or 2 of the state's population, so the bulk of Arizonans seem to be covered. Happy news there. New Jersey is the location of our last story on this short run of justice, as the state's Attorney General Gurbir Grewal has issued guidance to county prosecutors to suspend cases involving the possession of small amounts of cannabis. New Jersey voters passed legal adult use marijuana last month via ballot measure, and even though the initiative did not contain language for how adult use sales would function, leaving that to legislators to work out, it was clear that adult use should be made legal. So this is another one of those will of the people storylines. If you're watching New Jersey at all, maybe not a bad one to read in full. Popping up to my corner of the country here in Maine, we have the state's Office of Marijuana Policy reporting that in the first month of legal adult use sales in the Pine Tree State, around $1.4 million in all was rung up by dispensaries. Adult use became legal to sell as of October 9th in Maine after voters passed an adult use ballot measure in 2016, so the numbers reported are through November 9th. That $1.4 million total came about in 21,194 individual transactions, making for an average sale of around $65 per. We end the day with some possibly good news out of Canada, where Minnesota-based MSO Vireo Health has filed a preliminary prospectus to raise as much as $200 million by the issuance of stock. This does not mean that Vireo is actively engaged yet in raising that money, only that it is seeking the option to do so. That suggests some level of confidence in the overall cannabis market to support such a raise, which I'm going to take today as a good thing. Those are the headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again tomorrow with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. Thanks to our sponsor, Curaleaf, and to our awesome patron listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the illustrious ranks of the patron listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says Become a Patron. I'm your host, Jay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in and starting your day with marijuana today.
One take, Shay. One take.